Hey everybody, so I'm excited to announce Stars Reach. This is a new MMORPG that's still in pre-alpha right now, though it's going to be hitting Kickstarter soon, and I believe development is near its end. When I say near its end, they've spent over 5 years on the game, and it's getting closer and closer to saying an alpha release, then a beta release, and then even getting released out there. I don't think we're waiting another 5 years, for example. They have a Kickstarter coming out. Actually, the Kickstarter is coming out in probably a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, nowadays, you don't put a game on Kickstarter and people come to you. You have to actually advertise your Kickstarter page. So if you want to really help the devs out, and if you are looking into it, you love MMOs, you like sandbox games, I highly recommend at least following them on Kickstarter. I'll put a link in the description. But basically, this game it's amazing. So first of all, the main producer of this game is the guy who worked on, actually produced Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxies. We got another guy here who did the franchise for EverQuest 2 for 5 years, so worked on that. So you have some really big heavy hitters basically working on this game. But I want to tell you what's like probably the most incredible part about it, and it's the living world. And when I say living world, I'm talking about literally everything and anything is basically procedurally generated and living and everything else. Now, the creatures they create, I don't think those are procedurally generated, but I mean the world itself, even the trees, the way they grow, they have life to it. So if you plant a tree, the tree will grow. You can plant 10 of them, they'll kind of tick differently, and they grow up. They can burn down, they can spawn new saplings on the ground over time, and they grow. Basically, everything is just a living universe, a galaxy, I guess you could say, even, since there's going to be multiple planets and things like that. But they showed a video. I watched a tech demo, which most people would have probably not watched at all, for Unity, and they were talking about basically how everything communicates with each other. So like each meter, basically each block, there's no blocks obviously, but I'm just giving you an example. Each meter talks with another meter of it. Like the materials is like, hey buddy, this is my temperature, this is what happens if I get too warm, things like that. They all communicate. If they get too big, they fall and break and things like that. It's amazing physics, but it's all based on the communication of all the blocks. How, things like sand will actually slope down. It'll kind of settle in the ground. Things like grass has a more sturdy base to it. So if you put gravel on it, over time that gravel will actually sink into the ground and kind of pack down and things like that. They show videos on how some resources are actually gotten by erosion. So for example, you can redirect an entire river and use it and I saw a video of them showing a river being redirected. All of a sudden the land started to grow, grass was growing, things like that. So I could see farmers actually redirecting a river to help them grow their crops and things like that. It's incredible, the depth of this. Basically it's Eco. If you ever played Eco the game, I've done some videos on here, but much more on a large MMORPG scale basically. And the thing about this game is they're looking for people who are interested in grouping. Of course you can solo. I mean, I'm pretty much a solo kind of person, but this is one of those games where like you have a neighbor and you make friends with the neighbor. You don't have to go hunting, but maybe there's some troubled, creatures nearby. You haven't ever touched them, or you don't really, do anything with them. They'd be getting a little pissed off because we've moved in the neighborhood. Maybe they're growing, they're getting a little more aggressive. They might actually attack you, for example. That's kind of like, how the world works. The AI is very complex and in depth in that sense, which is really cool. But that's where you like, hey, buddy, do you want to team up and, take care of this, this group of animals or creatures that are, causing us problems? And that's the thing. Oh, I'm a blacksmith, you're this. Now, this, of course, is a futuristic game, so I'm using terms like a blacksmith, which doesn't make, a lot of sense. There's quite a few professions on here, and I'll get to that. But basically, it's just, there's so much freaking depth to it. And to be fair, this is not supposed to be Star Wars Galaxies. Yes, there's ideas from Star Wars Galaxies. Yes, there's ideas from Ultima Online. But honestly, if you want an honest opinion, when I look at this game, what I see Minecraft. I see No Man's Skies. I see a really heavy EverQuest Next landmarks in this game. And yes, like if you've ever played EverQuest Next landmarks, which was actually kind of like the tech engine and demo, but one that was pretty cool. It was just basically a big sandbox world, was supposed to be sort of like the tech demo for EverQuest Next. So it was going to be the next, little wait, because it's called Next, the next version of EverQuest. So there'd be EverQuest 1, EverQuest 2, and then there was going to be EverQuest Next. Unfortunately, that failed, but that is a heavy inspiration on that. And even the art and the graphics and everything kind of reminds me of WildStar, which is, in landmarks and things like that. But I think it's great. I like it. I've seen some people complain about the art style. Oh, this reminds me of Fortnite and things like that. Come on, this game isn't Fortnite. It's not even supposed, trying to be Fortnite. It's, a graphic style that's been used before Fortnite existed even. Obviously this game didn't come before Fortnite, but I'm just saying Fortnite didn't create that style, and not fair to compare it that way. Obviously if you really like Fortnite and want to say, hey, those are the graphics, that's fine, but I've seen people use it in negative light as well. But anyways, you can have guilds and groups, and you can actually claim an entire planet, govern it, have taxes. They talked about in the frequently asked questions things like, well, there's going to be like a market or whatever, like a big, market. So if you played Starbase or Dual Universe, I want to use some newer MMOs that are sandbox-like. For example, they had a big hub or multiple big hubs where you can go to stations and trade and things like that. That doesn't exist. You're going on a planet basically naked, starting fresh. I think you get some, tool start and things like that. And you're going and actually, starting everything from scratch. The story the story is climate change. Like, you've come from different planets, like everyone's come from many different planets. Earth, for example, I don't know if the Earth is going to be actually referenced or an Earth-like planet, but basically we had destroyed it, we've ruined it, we've come to a new galaxy that was I guess seeded by some aliens and things like that, and overall we get like a fresh start. Will we continue our ways, or will we do better in this new way? But they talk about mining and how the mining, like, it reminds me of Minecraft mining in a sense. Like, there's so much depth to it, and it's more like very enjoyable. I've been playing modded Minecraft for 15 years. I still enjoy mining. But they talked about, like, there'll be some tailings, and you'll mine and you have to rip some stuff out. The caves collapse. And right now it's kind of on easy mode for testing, but like, you might have to support your tunnels and caves and have like a kind of a digging etiquette to prevent collapses. Even in the testing, people have died because of collapses and stuff like that, which is really cool. Like I told you before, erosion, like water eroding, or even other materials eroding, like sloping down, things like that, over time, like sand, like falling off the walls and eroding, has even opened up new mineral types and things like that. You have tools where you can make sand into glass. There's actually like it's not boiling, it's another term they use, but the certain heat points of materials, they all have different everything. Basically a lake can evaporate. It's late. It's like 1:30 in the morning, by the way. I'm really excited. I watched hours of footage of this. And then all of a sudden you can move that water somewhere else. Like, it can kind of rain and things. I don't think they have raining in yet, but that's the point of the ecotype system to it, which is quite amazing. It's really freaking cool, to be fair. So anyways, and then of course you build your cities, you set up markets. If you want to have a big market, you can work with players and set up like a grouped up market and things like that, a market hub. You can take ships and go to other planets. There's lots of that. There's a lot of things we don't know about it as well, obviously, but definitely worth checking out. I'm going to be doing some footage. Luckily enough, we have some test events. I'll put this on my screen here. Of course, keep in mind this is not for everyone, so I might not get into this yet because I'm actually not one of the people. I just found out about the game. Sadly, I found it in a Facebook ad, which, I mean, I guess is good they did that, but it shows that I'm getting out of touch, keeping up with games and MMOs these days. But here you go, 9 p.m. today, on Thursday, January the 30th, 2025. They're going to do a playtest on this time. I think playtests are usually like 2 hours or so, maybe an hour or two. They're doing one the next day at 1 p.m., so that would be Friday, and then they're doing another one on Saturday at 1 p.m. These are all Eastern Standard Time, so if you just want to compare them to Toronto, Canada, and then convert them, or if you join their Discord, which I highly recommend, you can just go and click events over here and see that. So yeah, but yeah, if you check out their Kickstarter page, it shows some more information as well. There's some of the space stuff here, which is really cool. Here's the water I was telling you about. So it's dynamic water, but look at, you can see if we zoom in here, you can actually see the effect the water is having over here. It'll reset the little animation here in a minute, but you can actually see the water. Look at this. So over here, you can see it's like growing the grass, it's populating, it's, you know, this is diverting a river, so you can completely divert them. So just imagine you having these farmlands, and you know, some places they'll have, you know, shoot outs, so like they put a piece of material here, and then it, you know, it goes to the farm so they can use it temporarily to, you know, water their crops, and then, you know, they kind of like share the water and stuff. It's very beautiful. It's meant to be a very social MMO, so it's something I kind of miss about when I used to run modded Minecraft, well, any Minecraft servers. We had a build server and stuff. It was a lot more social. People kind of did projects together. People talked, people explored. Now you got somebody going to somebody's piece of property, and then they're yelling, "Why are you trespassing?" Blah blah blah. Like, unfortunately, you know, those days are a little more hardcore now. Unfortunately, people are ingrained with that kind of, you know, thinking. But this is the kind of thing that you make friends. You're saying hi, you know, and you do things together. You can see this is some kind of, I guess, it's kind of like bone meal, but a digital thing that helps grow the trees. But they were talking about this, like literally the trees themselves, they'll have like a ticking system, but they're all randomized. So you can see they grow at different ones, and they're all based on shaders, so they don't have to send this entire object from the server to the client. Very low latency, like from the tech down, like the tech info that I saw from the Unity, they were showing, it was amazing what they can do with it, and how awesome it is. Like, everything here is not sculpted, it's all procedural generated, and is done basically through a freaking flowchart. It's amazing. They were talking about even, you know, taking creatures and even removing them from another planet and bringing them to your planet, like introducing them. Maybe they'll end up being hostile and start eating everything around. You never know. Like, it's really freaking cool what you can do. So but either way, I'm really excited, just because this is kind of, you know, kind of a dream sandbox for me. It's always games like, you know, being able to mine, craft, you know, build. You can pick all the skills you want. Obviously, you can't just, you know, pick I don't know if you can pick them all at once, but apparently you can be jack of all trades. But of course you have to work on them. But I like that kind of idea in a game, you know. I like that freedom. Of course, you can work with players and friends and, you know, corporations or whatever you want to call them, to the point where they own a planet. Like I said before, you can tax the people. There is PvP. PvP is not in testing right now. PvP is 100% consensual. So, like, if you land on a planet, it might say, "Oh, this is a PvP zone. You know, stay away." I'm guessing even before you land on it, it probably warns you, for example. But yeah, it's pretty incredible. And I definitely recommend checking out the Kickstarter. I'm going to be doing more footage on this. In fact, I'm planning to do quite a bit of footage on this game over time, because I definitely want to support said game. But you learn a lot when you read about it, you check out videos on it, because unfortunately, like, and this is nothing against the devs, but when I watched the trailer and saw a little bit of stuff here and there, I kind of thought, okay, this is kind of cool, but this felt like every other game. And it wasn't until I got into the depths of the Unity presentations and how the engine works, but what they're doing with it, like how things grow, how things are living and breathing, I was like, wow, like that should be its own trailer in the depth, like give a 10-minute trailer of a sped up of all the tech of their background of their engine, because people will be like, holy freaking crap. But yeah, it's amazing. I'm looking forward to it. This is why I said, like, the timeline is fast. This is 5 years, basically, you can say, and they're using this as representation. Obviously, it doesn't mean that alpha is going to be in 2 weeks. It could be. You never know. I think Kickstarter is in about 2 weeks, but basically the idea is alpha's coming very soon. My guess is because this is on the Kickstarter page. My guess is whenever the Kickstarter is over, I'm guessing alpha starts soonish after, and then beta. I'm guessing beta is probably, fall this year. It could be sooner. And then release probably sometime next year if everything's going okay. Or maybe they're doing a no white beta, and maybe no white beta. I don't know what it sounded like when I said that. To me, it was like no white beta. Wipe, like, wiping something. But the beta might have no wipes involved, which means that technically, like, you use that as a clause. Like, unless something really bad happens, like the whole database gets corrupted, or some exploit happens where it just ruins everything, from beta on, we'll keep it that way. And then they have their quote-unquote launch. And this is kind of a game that doesn't matter for that. Basically, you could be playing this game for 300 days, or you can be joining the first day. You and that person can easily be friends. You can go off and do things together. You're not limited like most MMOs. You're not, restricted by levels and things like that. So there's so much to this. Honestly, I'm really tired. I have a 3-month-old baby. I've been shoveling like crazy recently. I have a snowbank that's literally 7 feet high. So I'm a little tired today. But I wanted to really show you this. Oh yeah, here's some of the trees. Every world is alive, But they're talking about, forest burning down and then forest even naturally growing back up over time. So, but either way, my friends, I hope you check Stars Reach, and please consider subscribing to this channel, because we're going to do lots of content on it over time. We're going to be showing more. I'll do raw footage. I'll do some cuts and things like that, footage as well. And I'm going to continue doing my GT&H Let's Play series as well. I'm going to let you guys know I'm not ending that or anything like that. I have quite a bit of footage for that on the buffer, basically, so I'm going to take breaks from time to time to enjoy things like this or other games, but I'm going to keep going back to it. I'm not going to do the whole, oh, well, it's been a month since I've actually really played it, I'm not going to play it anymore and I'll start fresh. It's going to be something I'm going to come back to from time to time and continue working on it. So yes, expect a constant-ish Let's Play series from that. Right now it's set to every other day. For those who don't know, I run a GT&H server. It's called Greg Tech New Horizons. It's the most in-depth modded Minecraft pack that exists. That's been worked on by a community of probably hundreds of volunteer devs for the last 10 years, and it's the most ambitious mod pack out there. It's the most complex mod pack out there, but it's probably the most amazing mod pack out there, just because there's nothing that comes close to it. So if you want to come to our community, you can come to our Discord, check that out. But either way, thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.